Hey, I'm Brian Tinsman, and you're watching American Texan Plays.
Howdy, howdy, American Texan here, and I'm coming from you on the road, getting ready for Vegas, but I've got a special interview with Brian Tinsman, creator of the game of Wonders of the First, and he's the one that's responsible for all the fun that we have, cards hitting the board, planning everything out, and this was an amazing interview. Part one started with the Radis Digital channel, and it was on the creators of the first, and then we decided to take it offline, and each of us have a segment with Brian Tinsman. I'm very excited to share my part here. It's part 4. I'll have all the links to the remaining videos, or at least the channels that the videos will be on, in the description. So you can watch them in any order, watch mine, then go watch the others. But make sure when you watch it, comment, subscribe to all the channels. This was a blast, a real pleasure, once in a lifetime opportunity to interview one of the legends of not just Wonders of the First, but trading cards in general.
Just a couple of follow-ups is that that's to complete a collection that you've worked on. But what I'm hearing about your formless foil, like that's beyond, right? You have the paper copy of it, but now you want something that's unnecessary. You don't need that because you already have a copy of that card. You don't need that because you can already, in theory, could play that card. So it's a little bit different, right? Because you didn't have these levels of parallels in other games where like, let's take this card you designed and make it several kinds of beauty, OCM, orbital color match, a serialized card, formless foil card, a classic foil card. And you mentioned formless foil. Are you not building a classic foil set?
I have a lot of classic foil cards, but that's not what I'm actively trading for. I want my formless foil set first. And I'll say something else. From a long-term background of game design, my experience talking to other game designers has been that people in the industry separate gameplay from collecting into, this game is for players and or for collectors, or this product feature is for collectors, this or game players. And as I've worked on Wonders, I have come to appreciate that they're really the same thing. Like being able to collect a set of what you want is gameplay, and it involves all the fundamental elements of gameplay. You have a goal, and there's an unknown outcome, and you have to interact with other players and make decisions, or other traders or collectors and make decisions. Or they're like, is this the right condition? Is this the right price? Am I gonna potentially not see this card again for a long time? Should I just jump on this now? Like guessing like whether it'll go up or down in the future. If I'm trading something away, is the value that I'm giving away good or bad based on how many other cards I have in my collection? How many extra copies of this I have? It's all gameplay, and so that's something that even a few years ago I really didn't appreciate.
Well, okay, guys, that is the clip of so far that we have. That's amazing, Brian. That was incredible. And then, Ben, before we go to you, the last follow-up is how many Dragon boxes do you hold sealed? And how many Call of the Stones do you have already through your BPX, or, the cases you pre-ordered or whatever? Like how many Dragon boxes from existence and how many Call of the Stone Dragon boxes?
I have 4 Dragon boxes.
Sealed.
Yeah, sealed. Yeah. I didn't load up super heavy on them, but enough.
I love listening to this gamer. I didn't load up enough. Like you sound like not just a collector, you sound like a degenerate collector.
Yeah.
So don't you wonder what's inside? Don't you wonder what's in those boxes?
Maybe it's those formless that you're missing for your set.
It could be.
Oh,
It could be.
Yeah. Right. It could
Let's
be
do
that,
it right
yeah.
here, live rip. Brian Tinsman ripped the Dragon Box live.
Do it.
Come on.
I see it on the show.
No, I want to use Brian to clear up, I think, some half truths that Ramel has been feeding me. So again, when I was chatting with Ramel in Baltimore, he told me that there are several major combinations in the existence set that people have not even noticed yet. He said there's a ton of, and I don't know if he's just pulling my leg and what your thoughts are on that, but he said there's a ton of awesome combos that nobody has even seen yet. And I kind of wanted to say, can you tell me one of them? But he didn't say anything. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like people have mostly figured it out, or do you feel like there's major pieces that people are missing?
So there's a difference between combos that are possible to pull off as like a stunt and combos that are really good in game, right? And there's I'm sure there's crazy stunts that have not been, pulled off very often in public. I don't know of any crazy combos that would turn the tournament meta on its head. But
Okay,
yeah,
so maybe he might have been pulling my leg a little bit.
There's weird stuff in there for sure. He's like a degenerate combo player. So
But another thing he said was, and I might be making this up, I'm trying to remember if this came from him, was that people are underestimating the powers of a monocolored deck. He said too many people are trying to incorporate everything into their deck, and they would be better off with just a monocolored deck because there's way more power in just the one color. Looks like skepticism.
It seems like a debatable topic.
Okay, fair enough.
It's sort of so. I mean, the proof is in tournament results.
It's true.
And I have seen people come to SCG Con with like just a straight up Umbrathine deck, pre-con deck with only a few swap outs, or a straight up Patria deck with only a few swap outs, and do very well. I mean, what one of them went like 3-1-1 at Houston.
So you hear that, Capricorn? Just bring a monocolor pre-con to the tournament and see how it goes.
I'm telling you, don't underestimate monocolors.
That's exactly what I'm doing, and everyone else should follow suit because it's so powerful.
Those pre-cons are pretty juiced up.
Yeah,
but they're simple. They're a lot simpler to play than a lot of the other meta decks that you see. Did Texan? What was it? I think I remember seeing you playing Squibbler. Just can't be nullified, right?
Yeah, that was exactly it. In fact, that helped me. Even though I lost Sneaky's game, it helped me stay competitive because I had the Lamp of Luferia. Just nullify all wonders in this realm. I didn't have to worry about that because I literally built the deck where once it lands on the board, which was mostly vanilla wonders, I don't have to worry about manipulation. The only thing I really have to worry about is you removing it or preventing me from attacking, which was kind of the strategy. The deck is actually called Vanilla Swirl because I started as just a vanilla deck. Can I make a vanilla deck work? And with Stellar Harmony T set as a win condition. And then we just added some cards in there to help control the game a little bit more. And yeah, good old Pat Squibbler made the cut.
Wonderful. It's amazing to see wonders with no abilities coming out and doing well.
I love the vanilla wonders. I think they're great. I wish I could, and they're also great. Just you need to cut some DBS points. You can get a lot of power out of those vanilla wonders.
Probably means nullify is too strong, but that's another topic.
So speaking of the T set, did you? So in Baltimore, my son played an opponent, and I wasn't watching the game, so I didn't see what happened. But he swears this person was trying to lose on purpose to play the T set. He said it looked as if they were just kind of making it look like they were trying. Here's a wonder here and a wonder there. Man, you're really hammering me. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then in the very end of the game, play the T set, and there was nothing he could do. It was just, and so he was frustrated that here I crafted this deck to stomp somebody, and it worked, but I lost.
I mean, it's a tricky strategy, and you give up a lot of energy if you play to lose, right? You're going to get, there's still some risk to it, but it is definitely kind of an underhanded switcheroo.
My one loss in Baltimore was to a T set deck, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh man.
It's true.
So,
All right.
do you have a solution for it?
Yeah, be cognizant that it exists and make sure you have an answer in hand when they play it.
But that's really the
about it.
difficulty of the game that I've found is that, and I do my thinking when I go to sleep at night, which is a terrible idea. Don't do that because you can't go to sleep because you lay there. Oh, I forgot about this card. Oh, what if they play that card? That's not going to work. And it's the same thing. All craft, I think, is the perfect deck, and then the T set or some other card. I'm like, that's going to ruin it. If they play this, it's going to ruin my whole strategy. If they play that, and it's impossible to prepare for every strategy. You just can't do it. Is that by design?
Unless you're Sneaky Joe.
Yeah,
He had several answers to my T set. He had answers to my answers to his answers. That's
my
how our
goodness.
game went. Yeah,
That's
it was a
what you
blast.
need to do, especially with Vegas on the horizon. I mean, there's so much thinking 1,000 turns ahead in those ways. Like, okay, T set, make sure I have a Nexus, but then if they have a Throne, then instead I need Arcane Grasp because Nexus doesn't work with Throne. But then if they've got a Sunfire City, Arcane Grasp doesn't work. So make sure that I have a Luminous Scarab so that I can null the Sunfire City so that my Arcane Grasp will work when he has a Throne out because I can't use the Nexus. That is what top tier competitive play looks like right now.
But then you got to get all those cards in your hand. And when you don't, when you have all of them but one, you just think, I just need one more card. I just need the one card. Give me the card.
No, the problem is you do all that preparation and then you don't play against T-set.
Yep.
That's the craziness of competitive play. So you have to have all of the answers for all of the top things, but also have them not be
It's
wasted.
finding having the most
when you're
answers
not
with the
against
fewest cards. Because the way Joe beat me with T set, I was prepared for Path of Light with the Ward of Serendipity, so I could just counter the spell. Well, I had it on the board, and he knew I was going to counter it, so he played his Path of Light. And so when it came back to my turn, I played my second Ward of Serendipity because I figured he's got one Path of Light, he's probably going to have two, so I laid that down. He was ready for that with a Murkmire Incarnate, which taps all lands. So he tapped all of my lands, and I didn't have enough actions. If I did T set, I didn't have enough actions to take control of the stones that I needed to win. And
Boom.
that works against T set, right? Because again, here we're all talking about how do you remove T set. He didn't need to remove T set. He just needed to make sure he removed my actions. And that's going to work against a majority of players. I don't need to remove your best card. I need to make sure you can't even take an action with it. And so that's what I think top competitors like Joe do is they find the most resources with the fewest cards. What card can do the most legwork? And
Well, it
that's
has to be
what
the
the beauty of
fewest.
this game is. It's not rock, paper, scissors. It's not, well, I rend your best card. Well, your best card counters my rend. Well, I nullify your best. It's not that. It's really finding the best combinations with the fewest cards that we have. And then the DBS adds another unique factor to that, where it's like, well, now I've got to find the fewest cards with the most versatility with the least points. It's a fantastic system that we have here that really involves a lot with not only deck building, but also piloting.
So that's one thing that's been frustrating for me, Brian. I don't know if that's by design, is fitting everything I want in 50 cards. Why not 60 like Magic? Why did you go to 50? 50 it's so hard to fit everything into 50. When I do my initial deck construction, I plug everything that I want and I look at it and it's 78 cards. And I think, oh, how am I going to take these out? So was that on purpose so that people couldn't fit everything in?
Yeah, some of it also is like we're onboarding a lot of new players. Not very many people are really experienced at deck building, and so putting those limits on there makes deck building simpler for beginners. But then when you get to be an advanced player, it makes deck building harder.
Way harder.
So, that's not to say that in the future we couldn't have formats with larger decks. We always have that as possible in the future, but yeah. making
speaking of
tough
which-
decisions is part of the
Hang on,
challenge.
I know we're interviewing Brian, but I gotta interview Ben. Ben, in a 60 card Magic deck, how many of those cards are lands?
Oh, that's true. That's the worst. I know. I could do a whole video on that.
So
There's-
I think we're actually
there's
playing
40
with more
cards in my
cards.
deck.
We're playing with more.
It's true.
in
It's
Wonders.
true. Well, so another question I have for you, Brian. You bring up a good point. Is
Okay.
one thing that drives me crazy about Magic is that there's a bazillion different formats, and I realize it's partly because of bans, which cards you can use and which cards you can't use, and I just feel like the game I grew up playing in the '90s, where there was just one way to play. You make your 60 card deck and you play, and then Commander kind of took over, and there's all these other formats, and I feel like it kind of got out of hand. Is that something coming for Wonders? Are we going to have a whole bunch of different formats, or because I'd rather not.
Yeah, no, we're not. I mean,
Oh, good.
the development team, we have alternate formats that we think have a lot of promise and potential, but we are in the growth stage of this game, and we need to stay focused on one thing. Yeah. So I have a question for the group. Going back to T-set, we had a discussion of T-set is a build around, and it can potentially be backbreaking, and it's a secondary, so a 3-of, and we stuck it in Epic. But there were discussions around should it be rare, should it be mythic? Do we make the right choice putting it at Epic?
I think you made the wrong choice to make the card.
I think epic isn't wrong. I think secondary is maybe where being able to run not that I would know, but like if I had to pick something that was wrong, it would be being able to have 3 copies of it. Like
Yeah, but
it feels like primary or legendary would be.
But see, it's an item, so you can't surprise your opponent with it. They at least have one action to answer,
Right.
unless you play it when they have 0 actions. But there's
And is someone really going to
there's
put
so
3
many
copies
ways
in
to
their
counter
deck?
it.
Is someone going to put 3 in?
Yeah, I did.
Like I
I
said-
put 3 in my top. In
Oh,
my top 4 deck, I
Texan
had
did.
3.
Like I said, if I had
but
to
again, I
pick
only ever
something,
drew
that's
2
why I
at the
would pick.
most.
I'm testing one with Power of
Oh,
Bloodlines,
great.
Power of both powers actually, Power of Bloodline.
I mean, double T-set is actually potentially useful too. Like you can do
Thought
really
about that.
really weird
Yeah.
stuff. 2 on the board, yeah.
You play your T set, I'll just play mine, and it'll just make everything negated.
I literally did that against an opponent in Swiss. I think it was Dr. Bray. He played a T set, and he fired it off. So then I played my T set just as a threat, and I swear that last round it took us all the way up to time. I don't know how we finished on time. I think
So-
eventually he said, "Okay, you got me." But yeah, I mean it's a fun head game, but it takes a lot of practice. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there trying to do math, because you also have to figure out the stones that are different when you pop off the second T set compared to the first, because the stones that switch with the first ones are going to switch twice, but the stones that were captured after the first are only going to switch once. So it's a whole thing you got to figure out.
So
Grace, were you
we're
gonna-
talking a lot about the T set, particularly at competition. And I know at the Shattering, it was a big win condition that exercised, like specifically with the way that the game ended and when things went to time, it worked a specific way. And we've had the way the timing rules for going overtime work change several times for the different SCG cons.
Mhm.
I don't think I've seen them for Vegas yet, and maybe I missed that, but do you know, or do you have thoughts on where you think the overtime rules should end up for Vegas? I don't want to get you in trouble, but I wanted to ask.
Yeah. The system that seems to be working out the best is 50-minute rounds and 2 extra actions per so for people who haven't been following, one of the issues is when games run out of time in a tournament setting. How do you determine the winner or if it's a draw? And the judging staff and our game development staff has gone through a couple of different cycles of figuring out the right answer that players will be happy with. And the one that seems to be working out the best is when it goes to time, each player is going to get 2 extra turns to finish what they're doing, and then end the game, and whoever's ahead is ahead. So that's not official for Vegas, but that's where the conversation is at.
What about
Okay,
the
so
realm?
it's still determined.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Ben.
It sounds like it's not solidified yet, but I was going to ask about the Realm 1 situation, about how when you finish a game, can you break a tie with Realm 1? Because that wasn't the case in Baltimore. You had to win by more stones.
Yeah. We need to have Realm 1 be the tiebreaker.
Well, thanks for your time today, Brian. I appreciate everything you shared with us, from design to just, what it's like to be Brian and work on the team. I think you've gotten to live the dream that many of us just think about, not just in cards, but just in, the success of your career. One last question I have for you is just simply, when it comes to Wonders, what's the most memorable, or perhaps your favorite story that you've encountered or that you've heard about the game that just warms your heart?
I got to think back to the early stages of design when we really had kind of the sky's the limit on making any kind of card game that we wanted to. And we had 5 of us in an Airbnb in South Carolina for 4 or 5 days, and just stayed up all night playing games and playing variants. And we had the fundamentals of Wonders of the First worked out, but there's a lot of devil in the details of figuring out. For quite a while we had the rule that if you ever want to draw a card, you're going to spend an action to draw a card, and people were not spending actions to draw cards. They were too hesitant to give up their actions for that. And we had a long debate about should we just give you some free card draw at the start of the turn? Like, yeah, well, if we're giving you free card draw at the start of the turn, why are we giving you free actions or free other stuff? Like, you're junking up the elegance of the system. But we played it, and the free card draw at the start of each round was just what it needed to kick it up to the next level. And we realized at that moment that, like, this is playing fantastic. Everybody is like gathered around to watch these random games that people have going on, in this on this coffee table with these couches and fireplace, and loud debates happening. And it's just like it's a moment in your career that sticks with you when you realize, what, I think we just nailed it. And being part of that is really exciting.
Well, that's awesome. And that just shows a testament, not just to you, but also the team that you and Frenchie have assembled, that y'all can, clash heads, but ultimately at the end of the day, you want what's best for the game, the collectors, the players, everything that you're working for to that end goal. And I think that just speaks to how bright of a future this game has.
Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited about it. There's that no other game system that I've seen in recent memory that has as much potential to go far.